Only the caped Baldy can be trusted to save the entire human race. There was no longer a single being left on this planet that could do anything against this next dimension slash. It was GG. Or at least it should have been. Because when humanity needs him the most, the strongest superhero of them all steps up. The caped Baldy. That's right, Saitama stopped this slash with just 2 fingers. Forget Aizen, forget Lucifero, this is now the ultimate disrespect. Because stopping a blade is one thing, alright? But stopping one capable of literally cutting through space itself from a separate dimension, yeah, that's a whole different level. However, this isn't something new for Saitama. Stopping a ninja's blade, well, that's actually just a normal Sunday afternoon for him at this point. Saitama might actually have some big beef with these ninjas, to be honest, because he stopped Sonic's sword, stopped Flashy Flashes, and now stopped the big boss of them all, Empty Voids. But that's not all, because when Void goes in for a second attempt, Saitama catches that blade as well. Thankfully, because he'd been to enjoy some curry udon before this with Manako, his brain was working at full capacity. As a result, Saitama puts 2 and 2 together, realizing that this is probably the whack job that tried chopping up the Hero Association earlier. Thus, Saitama pulls on the blades, yanking Void from outside his very own pocket dimension, creating a Looney Tunes-ass crater in the ground. Now again, this is nothing new for the caped Baldy. In chapter 167, Saitama not only kicked Garo's hyperspace gates away, but also managed to move on with his bare hands. Of course, he time traveled as well, and furthermore, he also broke into a separate pocket dimension set up by God once already called the Phoenix Space, which is where, like most of his potential victims, God disguised himself as Phoenix Man to try and turn Child Emperor on his side. So interacting with seemingly impossible objects that manipulate space-time itself and originate from outside of the causality of the universe, again, it's kinda nothing new for Caped Baldy, hence why this was so goddamn easy for him. Bro did all this against Void without even breaking a sweat. My guy didn't even move. The mosquito put up more of a fight. Whereas Blast, I mean, yeah, he ain't looking too good. Now, Saitama was rewarded for his heroics in this instance, as Blast isn't the only one left looking like a fraud incapable of using his main attack anymore, as Saitama now has Void's Dimension Blades. Now, in the webcomic, he ended up giving these to Sonic and Flashy Flash as something similar happened there. This will not only give them a much needed power up as One Punch Man's scaling continues to leave them in the dust, but it also completes their own mini arc of rebuilding the ninja village as they will wield their leader's weapons. In spite of this, when Void bursts up out of the ground, he is met by the blades of both Sonic and Flashy Flash. As a result, Void tries to use his jutsu to get out of there, but no luck. Because you see, Blast is actually only secretly being a fraud. What he's actually been doing is big braining it all the entire time, waiting to activate his secret final trump card. Firstly, he creates a portal to his other hand, connecting his fists to activate his teleportation. This is possible because Blast has been transferring blood flow and neural signals between the severed parts of his arms. All of this for a last resort attack. He grabs Void as he's midway through transcending dimensions, aligning with his coordinates. This means that the two would actually then fuse together as their biological structures will be torn apart. This would then effectively kill them both. Thus, Blast leaves it all to Sitch. He will be the final remaining Hero Association member who knows everything about God and the impending destruction of the world. It would also be his responsibility to eventually save either Blast or Void using the experiments to reverse the monstrification that will occur. Luckily for Sitch though, he doesn't have to worry about any of that, as Blast and Void can't fuse. This is because the power of light repels him. Remember, Blast's power is the power of darkness. This links back slightly to what Void mentioned to Sonic and Flash in chapter 201, about how those confident in their own abilities can't remain as equals and that a parting of ways is inevitable, which is the case here. Void's power of light and Blast's power of darkness has forced them to part ways even during their fusion process. In spite of this, the brief moments that they were together, their consciousness overlapped, allowing Blast to look into Void's memories. Memories of how God tricked him. Memories of Blast's wife. And so, What does this mean? Did this all happen because Void was jealous of Blast and wanted to smash his wife? I doubt it. Rather, I think it's more likely that Blast's wife is Void's sister. After all, they do look somewhat alike. This also makes sense of why Void would hate Blast so much despite them once being best mates. Think back to when he claimed Blast brings disaster to those around him and how he failed to save anyone. It would make sense for Blast to have indirectly caused the death of his wife, aka Void's sister, because of his work. This connects the story together perfectly, setting up the next arc with the Neo heroes, as Void will probably make Blue his next target, possibly even trying to use his own hatred for Blast to recruit him and join God. He is Blue's uncle after all, thus he may well be what brings Blast and his son back together again, filling in the empty void between them. Plus, those with the notification bell on will understand that we've theorized on this channel before who the true mastermind of the Neo heroes is and their possible connections to God. Now, if you want to learn more about what I mean by this, check this video out on your screen right now.